Happy Saturday, Wiley here, checking in live from the house. This is the Wiley Report, where I share my life as an information science PhD candidate and everything in between. So this week, I got some news about my timeline because my longest goal since I don't know, forever has been to finish this spring, and I learned that according to my committee members, it's not gonna work out. I learned it Thursday, before presenting at the Technocracy conference. I didn't really get much information as far as like next steps or what timeline would be feasible, but that was just what they said. And I'm not really here to talk about them because I don't have any negative or nefarious comments about my committee members ever. I'm just, like I said, this is a Wiley Report, and I share my life, my feelings, my thoughts. And I think for me, what I got out of the experience most so far, and I'm still processing, is I really felt gutted. I feel gutted because I've been working really hard since passing my prelim last May and conducting this study, doing 34 interviews and analyzing episodes that I really did think that I could make it. I knew it was tight, especially with chapter 5 through 7 remaining, but because I had chapters 1 through 4 and had revised them twice, I was still hopeful. And I don't know, it's the liminal period. I have so many thoughts. I mean, on one hand, it's like, well, it's not like I'm losing funding. I am employed full time, and I'm so grateful for that. I don't have a job necessarily in terms of something else that I'm trying to go to. I don't hate my, current role or position in any way. I love being a librarian. I've been in this role since 2013, so it'll be 13 years in May. And if you add the 5 years that I spent at NOAA, I've been a librarian for 18 years. And I know continuing my education for me, even when it was my master's degree, was never about a job per se. It was always about the skill set, and continuing my education is about becoming a better researcher. And I guess for me, it's the grief of how you thought it would be and the uncertainty of how it is. It's the fact that sometimes I felt like since my dad passed in 2023, I am running against an imaginary or real time clock because, it's my mother and my brother, and my mother is 70 plus. My wife lives in Maryland. And I just feel like sometimes I am doing my best for what's next, even though I couldn't tell you what's next other than the fact that I want to finish, and that I've been really sad and melancholy and just gutted and uncertain. In some ways, it feels like my qualifying exam again. I really wanted to take it, and then learned that there were more changes needed. And then when I made the changes, people stopped talking. And while this isn't that in its entirety, the feeling wise of wanting something and then learning that it's not going to happen the way you thought, and the uncertainty of what next, is what reminds me of similarities. And I don't have anything to, say that I resolves that feeling. And I just wanted it. And if you ask me, well, what have you been doing? Well, I've been working on chapter 5. I finally finished writing the analysis for Hood Rat to Head Wrap. I cleaned my house, did some laundry, folded some clothes, watching Chicago PD, and getting ready to start the write-up for Fag Talk. I don't know anything else to do but to keep going. Even when I don't know the other parts, I know that regardless, chapter 5, 6, and 7 have to be finished. And that's what I'm committed to do. Do I know the outcome? Nope. Do I know what the committee will say? Nope. Do I know when I'm graduating right now? Nope. But I know that I'm writing chapter 5 and I'm finishing it. And I know that I'm writing chapter 6 and I'm finishing it. And I know that I'll be writing chapter 7 and I'll be finishing it. And that's really all I know. And like I said, where I'm at right now, I'm in chapter 5. Fact talk. Analyzing, writing the analysis of that. I don't know how to do anything else but finish. And I don't think this was a part I ever thought about or ever saw in the handbook in terms of experiences. How does it feel? It feels like it's a lot of, and I don't have a clarification for it. I don't have a statement. I don't have nothing other than the fact that I just want to finish. Did I think that this is where I would be? Did I think that this is how it would go? Absolutely not. Do I feel sad? Absolutely. Absolutely. But hey, this is where we are. And that's all I got. I hope that wherever you are, you're taking care of yourself. You're remembering that you matter. I don't know. I keep thinking all I've been saying is I want to graduate in May 26th. And to know that it's not going to happen, it's like, what the fuck? Life is a motherfucker. But I'm writing chapter 5. So that's what I'm doing. I spent most of the day with that after cleaning, because I spent this morning cleaning and doing some laundry. And I just finished writing up the last 4 sections. Well, it was like 3 sections. No, really 2 sections left of Hood Rat to Head Wrap, because I wrote a lot of it last week. So I was just closing that arc out on Hood Rat to Head Wrap and starting section 5.5, which is Fact Talk. That's it. That's all I got. I'm wildly. If you ask me, how did my talk go? My talk on Technocracy went well. It's wild because it's kind of like you feel grief, you feel gutted, and people are looking for you to talk about your presentation. I appreciate Qual Scholars community so much, because there was a part of me that really wanted to walk out and just go back home, but I really sat with it and asked myself, is that really what I wanted to do? And I was like, no, I'm gonna go ahead and give this talk because I had prepared for it. And I did. I mean, they probably wanted me to talk 20 more minutes. And they had a good question and answer section asking me questions about my participants, asking me about freedom and liberation, talking about the future of technology. And then we went to the bread company after. I've had mixed experiences with the bread company. The sandwiches are good. I've never really had their dinner. They bought pizzas for us. I didn't really care for their pizzas. The conversations were great at the table. I did not go to Friday's session, which was like faculty from the University of Illinois as well as Purdue. I think there was somebody there from London and Michigan, and I didn't go. I stayed home on Friday. I just couldn't do it. So I stayed home, did some work on chapter 5, went to some meetings, ate some food, and watched Mr. Loverman on BritBox. That'll be the next thing I talk about, is BritBox's Mr. Loverman. That was good. I finished that. So I'll do another video to talk about that. Peace. Thanks for listening.